Bridge, I gotta ask,
Oh.
because I know sometimes you're on the internet, but not always. Did you watch the women's Olympic breakdancing?
Okay.
And if so, do you want to dress up as Ray Gun for Halloween? Because I do. Boy, do I.
I watched the first 2 rounds.
Me too! Well, I think I watched all the prelims, but yeah.
The participant from India, I was like, did they go off and win the gold?
Lithuania won.
Oh my god. And then all I saw on the internet was people making fun of Australia's.
Ray Gun. Her name is Ray Gun.
Oh no.
She wore a tracksuit, and she is a 36-year-old woman, which I was like, fuck yeah, represent, lady! Except she was not great, so then I was like, god damn it! Yeah, she also has a PhD either in breakdancing, or she, like, studied something about breakdancing, and then she teaches breakdancing classes in Australia. And
Okay. Let's set the scene, okay? Because I want to know more about Ray
I do
Gun.
want to set the scene.
So if you are wondering what breakdancing in the Olympics is, I thought it meant you saw a breakdancer get on stage, kind of like skateboarding. Like, one person gets the show.
One at a time.
They do their thing, yippee-ki-yay, and they pick their song, they have a routine, all good to go. No.
Wrong.
It is battle format.
It was like... What was the show with fucking Nick Cannon? Wildin' Out? Where it's like, oh, you diss someone and then they diss you back. And I was like, is this real life? And also, watching it reminded me of MTV's Made. I'm so sorry I keep referencing MTV, but you just have to when you watch it. Where it's like, a little high school girl. It's like, I want to be made into a breakdancer. And they're like, well, you're gonna have to scooch. And that was Australia, guys. And I think they should revamp that show and have Ray Gun be the teacher. Because I want to see her teach a child how to do that, honestly.
If she was smart, she would capitalize on this and
fucking hope she does.
Go for it. So when they battle, where it's like this country, that country, they have 3 rounds to battle. And my absolute favorite part was, so the judges have 5 criteria.
Oh
technique,
my god.
Wait, technique, and you're like, execution, you're like,
Yeah, those make sense.
Originality, you're like, okay.
Subjective.
Vocabulary.
I don't understand that. No words are spoken.
Wait for it. And then musicality?
Also...
So what those 2 things? Wait. What's these? So vocabulary, they describe as the variety of moves, styles, and transitions. So the way
it's not
you dance is how you speak. And then musicality, which, by the way, a DJ picks their music. They don't get to pick their own.
That I actually liked. I was like, that's hard.
Okay, and the musicality refers to how well the break dancer weaves together their moves
with the music,
to the beats.
Okay, that makes sense, though.
In the F is happening? Because I was like, so you have these like super uptight judges, like, so bleedy blah from Japan. Oh, the music, that's vocabulary right there. And then they had to like give faces, and when they were done, they had to get into the other country's face and be like, what?
That's when it was Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out. And I was like, is Nick Cannon going to come out in the audience with his 87 children? Because I'm sweating. I don't want it. Stay out of here.
Okay, wasn't India, though, unbelievable? Who won?
You already told me. I'm
sorry.
I don't remember, but I do remember the U.S., they call them B-girls, by the way, which I was like, sure. Breakdancing
we
dash
are talking
girls.
about women's, not men. I didn't see the men.
No, I'm talking about women's. And the women's B-girl was logistics. And she was good. Like, she was spinning on her head, bunch of crazy shit. I don't know where she ended up. I don't know who won silver. I don't know who won bronze. I don't know anything. But what I do know is there were 2 trash announcers who felt like the really low-level DJs that you get at a weird wedding that you don't want to be at. And it's the kind of DJ where they're like, yo, yo, and it's like in the middle of the song. And you're like singing the song and they're like, hey, hey, hey. And you're like, oh, shut the fuck up. That's who they were. And the crowd was confused, as was I. But the good news is Snoop Dogg was there. So, automatically, it was leveled up. I didn't watch the men's, though. I do want to watch the men's. That was today. Okay. I missed it.
All right, I gotta watch the men's. Because, yeah. Okay, and then I had, like, a little bit of this kind of moment of, like, wow, a lot of these kind of Asian countries are representing here. But, like, where do we think breakdancing started?
It originated in the South Bronx. I was reading about this.
Yeah, okay.
And there were a lot of people critiquing that there were not any African-American breakdancers. Although I think France, the woman from France...
Yeah, who started.
Might have been.
Who was super tall.
Yeah, but I think...
The super lengthy, tall person.
That was a big critique where they were like, are these really the best of the best, sir?
I was thinking that too. I was like, I lived in New York City on the subway.
Yeah.
And
those subway kids can break.
Should be on the fucking Olympics because
if they had that contest inside a subway car moving.
Oh,
I'd be standing ovation.
I remember literally like pulling my knees up, watching dudes do like backflip spins on their head, and we're literally in a subway car. And when I was watching it, I was like, all these like Asian countries like really into this feels like a little appropriation, but I think it was also the Olympics, but also I don't know how I feel about that, and then I'm like, well, I don't actually know the history of breakdancing, so it felt a little weird.
I think that was a big critique of Ray Gunn, our Australian breakdancer, because they were saying how Australia is a predominantly white country, and Ray Gunn was like, yeah, nobody believes in breakdancing in Australia, so like, I don't have a lot of comparison. And you're like, well, Ray Gunn, you could just go visit somewhere else and like get a little culture, but that's fine. You just teach your version of breakdancing, which is to spin on her butt on the floor, which I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I could do that. So, you guys might see me in LA in 4 years.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I love that people are doing it and I love it's there, but when you just like watch it cold, you're like, oh yeah, I feel about this.
You gotta be ready.
I wanted them to, like, have a routine, like, the gymnastics floor, where they get on by themselves with their own music and, like, do the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then that was it. That's your performance. And not, like, rounds and rounds of battling.
What would your B-girl name be? What? Would it just be B-girl because of Bridget?
Honestly, I feel like it'd be like B Mama. Something like that.
Yo, B Mama.
B Mama.
That's great. I love that.
What would yours be?
I don't know. What should it be?
Kit Kat?
I love it. And I just go out with some chocolate bars and I'm like, or need a break?
Your whole... And then you like stop and crack one and you just throw it into the audience.
Okay, guys, don't steal that. That's gonna be me in 4 years. Be on the lookout.
I spit on my head and babies fly out my cooter. Okay.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, 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 sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Aloha.
Aloha. Oh. Merry Kalikimaka has a thing to say. So sorry. I'm so sorry. Welcome back, listeners.
This was the movie that made every one of my friends want to put a little dancing hula girl on their car, their dashboard.
Did you have one of those in your car?
I think I wanted to, but didn't. Because, like, everything we buy is, like, from Kohl's, and they probably didn't sell that.
Oh, definitely didn't have that at Kohl's, yeah. Oh boy. All right, well, listeners, I'm going to introduce ourselves so you know who wanted hula dancing people in their car.
Oh!
Because it was us. Yeah. Listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And surf's up, Anne-Marie. You think that would be a line said to our main character by her friends, and no, it was said to her by her boss who was firing her. And that was her "I'm firing you" line. Surfs Up Anne-Marie.
Honestly, that's a pretty badass way to fire
I was going to say, I was like, should that lady get a high five? Because she thought that up on the spot, you guys. Bridge, what's the movie this week?
It is from 2002.
Woo!
Blue Crush.
Oh, it feels so 2002. Boy, howdy.
I almost wanted to apologize. Because after I started watching it, I was like, oh no, this ain't good. And then I also, speaking of the breakdancing appropriation, I was like, oh no, we got a white chick pretending to be a local in Hawaii.
Yeah, okay.
All the Hawaiians who watched this movie in 2002 and been so fucking pissed.
Wait, that is a real question though. Is that what's happening? Is she trying to come off as like a native Hawaiian?
No, I mean, she like grew up there.
I know, but
she's a local.
I didn't know if we had like a Bethany Hamilton situation going on where it's like, no, your parents are white people.
I don't think she ever says like, I look Hawaiian. I think she just uses the word local.
She was pretty tan.
But I was like...
But had naturally blonde hair, so...
But like, we probably could have picked a different star.
Yeah, I mean, the one, her friend, I think... She looks like a native Hawaiian.
Yes.
And I don't know anyone's names in this movie. Character. That was one critique of mine, is I was like, is anyone going to say people's names? Help me. Okay. Bridge, it's your synopsis. I did Free Willy, and I remember doing it, and I cried, and now it's your turn. Surf's Up, Bridge.
The surf is up.
Okay.
Where did I watch this? Let me look up the, I have a bone to pick with Amazon.
I watched this on Amazon Prime.
Oh.
For free. Uh-oh.
Did it create ads for you?
On my Prime?
Yeah.
I don't think... Like, you mean did the movie stop and show me ads?
So as I went to get it, Prime pops up and says, hey, if you want ad-free... So maybe this was a test. If you want ad-free of this, all you have to do is pay $2.99 a month, and you don't get ad-free. And I was like, hold the motherfucking phone.
What?
I have been giving Amazon $2.99 for 2 fucking years and over 200 episodes. And now this bitch wants me to do streaming. So somehow I clicked out of it. So I think it was like a little mini test.
Okay.
This motherfucking platform goes on to create like how much I pay for Google storage right now. I'm going to flip a fucking table. So I just have to say
wonder if that's a thing they're trying to do, because like all the fucking streamers are doing that now. Those bitches. Even fucking Netflix is gonna do it.
I'm so over it. I'm like, you basically created TV. You guys suck. You suck so bad. Okay. A young surfer is driven to become a champion, practicing constantly 7 days, let's talk about that, while raising her rebellious younger sister. But as she starts falling for a handsome pro football player, can she maintain focus?
The answer is no.
Okay.
The answer is ADHD. The answer is Ritalin. The answer is the editor needed a chill pill. Okay.
We start off with Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie is Kate Bosworth. In 2002, she's a hottie, she's a star, she's in a lot of movies, rom-com.
I thought she was a model, and then I was like, oh god, she's an actress.
She's probably also a model. I mean, she is stunning, I will tell you. Yeah. Like, beautiful, stunning, like, totally looks like a surfer girl, like, if they were in Billabong. I get it.
Yeah, well.
Then you have Michelle Rodriguez as Eden, who's her codependent bestie / coach.
Very codependent.
And then you have Lena, who's kind of like their third bestie that lives with them, but is also like go with the flow and is like chill.
Yeah, I felt like she was more of like, hey, little sister, I'm your sister now. And I was like, thank God.
These three live together. So my vibe is like, they didn't go to college. They work at a local hotel, which, by the way, I was getting very White Lotus vibes.
Oh, my God, yes!
We gotta talk about that. They work at a hotel as cleaners, and they're kind of just surf and do cleaners, and, like, that's their life. Now, Anne-Marie's mom bailed on her and her little sister, and her little sister is...
Penny Pendleton!
Penny, like my doggy!
Oh, but she's not in Hairspray in this one. Yeah.
Oh, wow. In her, like... her actor picture, Penny is an adult, and I couldn't even tell this was Penny. Oh. So then Penny is, let's say probably a junior in high school, maybe?
She is 12, because at some point someone says her age, and I almost flipped the table because of not not good scenes that happened.
She's 12?
Somebody said Penny's 12. She's
thought
only
she was
12.
like
They said
17.
she's only 12. And I was like, somebody should call the cops.
I missed that, but that is an insane 12-year-old.
Where's the police? Yeah.
So she's trying to watch her younger sister do everything, but she is this incredible surfer, and Pipe Masters, where the movie starts, is a week away.
Yeah.
And it's the scariest thing because 3 years ago, she almost drowned in like a version of that for the junior competition.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's assume she's maybe like 19. I don't know, right? Something like that. So the entire movie is watching her train for this and dealing with her younger sister and taking her to school and dealing with her friends and blah, blah, blah. And then, out of nowhere, Kate, these crazy pro football players just so happen to be in Hawaii, where they're kind of on vacation, but then one time he says he has to go to practice, but then they're also on vacation.
They were there for a Pro Bowl, but they were very available. And I was like, is this a made-up Pro Bowl?
I don't...
Is this free vacation? What do you mean?
And they get connected with these football players because as cleaners, they were cleaning a room, and it was so disgusting that Anne-Marie told one of them off, and then the quarterback was like, she's hot, and then they started talking. And literally that's that. And since they needed money, because they got fired after that behavior, the quarterback was like, hey, how about I pay you for surf lessons, but really sex, wink, wink, and let's hang out all week while I'm on vacation. And she's like, totes, love you.
She does.
That was a lot. And then we end the movie at Pipe Masters. She doesn't win, but she rides the best wave. And you want it to be Rudy, but it's not Rudy.
Oh, God, it's nowhere fucking close to Rudy.
The patriarchy killed this to be Rudy, but it could have been Rudy.
Yeah.
And we had to have a male interest and really dumb decisions. And I was so sad rewatching this. I was like, oh, this wasn't fun or cool at all. Now, the music was okay.
The music was not as Margaritaville as I thought it was going to be.
It wasn't as bad.
Was great to see.
Yeah.
The surfing looked cool. There were cool surfing montages. There were a billion surfing montages.
Thank you for lifting up the positivity.
I'm trying.
Because I was a little like, wow, sigh, I thought this was cool. Because, okay, where we grew up, Kate, we're not from Hawaii. We're from fucking New Jersey. And we were near the beach, and you know me, I freaking loved being in the ocean, like, every day, and
you were a skimboarder.
I couldn't ever surf, because,
Bridget boarded, guys.
I skimboarded, and I remember watching this movie and being like, this is me, man. This is me. I love it. Let's do this. Like, I'm a surfer girl. Let's freaking do this. And then rewatching it, I was like, lay aside. This is all the influence to why our lives revolves around men and our love interest. And
it's all Blue Crush's fault.
Well, because I watched this when I was like 15 or 16, and that shit has like these deep effects on you. And I remember being like, oh yeah, it's a movie about a dude, whatever, but it's also like about the girl. But now I'm rewatching it, and I was like, this dude was like half the movie.
I felt like the screenwriter kind of wrote like a little fan fiction, like a little like, wouldn't it be wonderful if I met like a famous like rich man while I was like a surfer and like we fell in love and he loved me for no reason even though he doesn't know me, and then my life is wonderful and then I win the surfing contest even though I didn't practice. Wouldn't that be great? And I was like, wow, that went nosedive quick. Also, another comparison that I need to look up. Did you ever watch Lilo and Stitch, the Disney movie? Because the plot of this movie is a little similar, and I'm wondering if we did... Oh my god, Lilo and Stitch was 2002.
Ooh.
Okay, the plot of Lilo and Stitch does have a little blue alien, and it's more of the point of view of the younger sister, but it's an older sister raising a younger sister in Hawaii, no parents... And they like to surf, and the older sister's like, how am I going to get money and not have child services take you away? And I was like, that should be this movie, but instead...
Yep.
She's having sexy time at the hotel and abandoning her sister, and I don't understand what's happening. And is Michelle Rodriguez supposed to be a coded lesbian? Because why can't she just be a lesbian? Why do we have to be weird about it and make it seem like she just really cares about the competition, you guys?
Guys, this movie was so much. The best way to do it is just to get into it, because you can't even imagine the dumb bullshit. Okay?
All right, I'm gonna set the scene. Listeners, you're sitting at Surf Taco. If you've never been to a Surf Taco, it's exactly what it sounds like. And you look up at the TV when you're eating a little fish taco, and they're showing random surfers and psychedelic images. That's how the movie starts. And I was like, wow. Did I take a mushroom? And I didn't know it. Did I self-roofie? And this is supposed to be showing Anne-Marie, who's the main character, supposed to be showing like a flashback dream, something of when she was in the last surfing competition when she was younger. And she fucking slams her face against coral. And I was like, Yikes. Oh God, now it's a horror movie. And then she wakes up and she's like, anyway, time to train. And I was like, okay, guess so. Here we are. Let's do it. What time is it?
When she goes trains, she runs on the beach.
Yeah.
She does some cool pull-up scenes. Like she's freaking Terminator 2.
We do love that. We love a training montage.
Love that. I'm down. And then she's like, okay, we gotta get Penny to school. And you're like, I love this. Yeah. We're fucking Rudy. We're Rudy for surfing.
Well, they go surfing before they bring Penny to school.
Oh, that's right. They go surfing. Oh, that's right. She gets everybody up, and she calls her friend that's sleeping on the beach, who might also be a child who's 13.
I had questions, and I was like, are there police on the island? Is anyone going to help
I wish
children? Hello?
Do we have any listeners in Hawaii that actually surf? Because
some
of the lingo, he was like, what up, Emery? The swell is above.
Wait, and they said billabong a lot. And I was like, is that a real word and not a brand? They're like, the billabong is epic. And I was like, the billabong? What, am I watching Ray Gun where I don't understand what's happening? I think I am. I don't know.
I just was like, is anyone cooler than me actually know if this is how people talk? So then she's like, we gotta get up, man. It's above head. It's 40 feet. Blah, double overhead. Blah. So they get there, they do it, and then her ex-boyfriend, who is played by...
Okay.
What is his name? Drew?
He's apparently a actual local Hawaiian. Oh. Like, the actor is.
I mean, he looked fairly, believable.
I also just don't love sexual harassment at 6 a.m., sun just came up. True. We're getting handsy. True. Nobody's throwing punches at the handsy guy. We're all like, tee-hee, silly ex-boyfriend. And then we just move on and go surfing. And that's not feminism, That's not how we do it.
I don't know if Point Break was in the back of my head, but I was like, was he the bank robber?
Okay, but if Patrick Swayze from Point Break did that to me, I might, tee-hee-hee, giggle. I'm not gonna lie. But, this guy, get the fuck out of here, bitch. Damn.
So, right away, by the way, the entire movie, everybody's like, come on, Anne-Marie, you're actually gonna
surf bullying was out of control. Somebody needs to do an investigation.
Imagine you in our scary movie version popping up with a whistle and giving them a bullying
a red card. You get detention.
No, a training lesson.
I'm gonna call your parents.
You're like, you're a bystander, and I need you all to be upstanders.
Everybody's fucking bystanders. Don't get it twisted. It's bad. It's so bad.
And they go out there and she gets nervous again and they try to give her a wave, a really big, giant, scary wave, and she chickens out and they all make fun of her, and then eventually she does get one but gets smashed, and then you just you get into this same habit where Michelle Rodriguez, her friend, is like, you could have done it, man. You should have just committed. And Anne-Marie, never speaks. And then Nina's like, leave her alone. And I was like, wait, are we talking about someone with her? Is she not there? Is she there?
Is she a ghost? Is this a Sixth Sense thing in the island? What's happening?
Did she die? And now she's a ghost? They spoke so weird about her.
Michelle Rodriguez was just, so intense. And I was like, you're at a 10? I need you at a 4 or lower, because Anne-Marie doesn't give a shit about anything. So You gotta relax.
Yeah, and Anne-Marie Kate Bosworth didn't really have a personality.
No.
Right? It was like, I'm hot and serious, and every now and then I do pull-ups.
I would love to read, I wouldn't love to do this, but I would love for somebody else to do this and tell me the answer of how many actual spoken lines there are in this movie, because it really just felt like non-stop montages of, this is why I was like, the editor was paid in cocaine, because this is out of control. Every scene, it's like 2-second snippet. It was like a TikTok video, and I was like, I can't keep up for an hour and 40 minutes of this. Well, I don't understand.
I now that you're saying that, I'm like, oh yeah, because I was so thrown off by like the male plot that I didn't even know what was happening. But they drop Penny off at school, and she's late, and the principal's like, come on, Anne-Marie, she's late for another time. And then
it was like, it's the 8th time this month. And I was like, again, are the police, is social services helping this family? Because we should have some involvement and offer resources. Are you kidding? What?
She goes on a whole monologue of like, well, it's the best I can do because my mom is fucking some dude in Vegas. And I was like, whoa. And then when they drive away, where you're like, wow, good on her, I guess. When they drive away, she's like, he's kind of hot. I was like, what?
I blacked out.
Do you remember? I was like, what is happening?
No,
and
I think
let's get to work. I'm like, what?
I think I was upset that they tried to make the principal look like the bad guy. And I was like, he literally is trying to advocate for your sister and her education. And you're saying the best you can do is that every day you have to take your sister surfing. Or else, ? Even though you don't have to do that, but you're making yourself the victim, and nothing makes sense. Yeah, but that's fine, because they go to work, and they're late for work, and they are hotel cleaners, and Bridge, I haven't stayed in as many hotels as you, so far in life, but I just want to know, did you ever feel like the hotel cleaners were putting on your clothes when you were not in the room? Did you feel that way? Because I'm sweating.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Right.
And I don't think my clothes were cool enough for anyone to want to put on.
Okay, well.
But they wanted to show the Hoochie Mama girls that are like the pro football players, either wives, girlfriends, or like flavor of the week. That was kind of the vibe of it. But I did feel like it was absurd to try other people's clothes to be funny, because I was like, but that could be gross.
That's what I was like.
I don't know a stranger's, I don't want to put on a stranger's dress because I don't know where they've been.
You don't know where they've been. You don't know what it smells like. You don't know what kind of stains there are. You don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening, and nobody's getting a tip. Okay, that's the lesson we're learning from this. And the girls were getting on my nerves, and I was having a hard time with it. The beginning was hard. And then there is a scene where Penny, who is 12, let's not forget, is missing, or she skips school, something. I don't even fucking know how we get here. But then Anne-Marie angrily knows exactly where to go. She knows the exact house party on this giant-ass island that her 12-year-old sister's hanging out with. And it's the same place her ex-boyfriend is hanging out. And then her and her sister get in a fist fight and a wrestling match. And then Anne-Marie is like, screw you, and she leaves her. And then all these men put their arm around 12-year-old Penny. And
who also had cornrows?
I screamed.
Wow, now that you're saying she's 12, we should call Penny. Is she okay?
I don't think so. Because, when the movie ends, I don't know how Penny's education is going. I don't know how her smoking addiction is. I don't know if she's still binge drinking on weekdays. We don't know anything because the movie ended and it was fucking weird. So, yeah.
Okay, well, we got to get past that. If we keep talking about Penny, everyone's just going to be depressed. So,
I'm sad.
Here's the thing. When they get to the footballer's room, that's trashed, okay? This is Leslie, the character, but Faizon Love, okay?
We had him in Elf.
He's so effing funny. He is the tons of movies.
Comic relief in this movie.
Couples Retreat.
Yeah.
He's been on just a fun of random. He was in Friday. He was in Elf. He was in all. If you look him up, you'd be like, oh, that guy's funny. And thank God he was in this movie, okay? Because in my opinion, he brought so much needed acting chops to this story.
He was the only person with a personality. I'll give him that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He added some flavor. So he was a gross dude, and he trashed his hotel room, and he put used condoms on the ground, and then Anne-Marie couldn't take it. Kate Bosworth takes the condom, takes a garbage can, and meets him on the beach and just lays into him. Okay, that's pretty fun.
I was gonna say, I don't hate that scene. I'm kind of like...
She did it fairly respectful, if I'm gonna be honest. She was like, hey, just take this, put it in the garbage can, wrap it up. That's all I'm asking. Okay? I'm your house cleaner. I love you.
And she was even like, this is my name. What's your name? Great. And like, no yelling. Yeah. No yelling, just telling. Okay?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
He, in my opinion, handled it well because he was giggling and his friends were giggling. And then he made a joke about how you don't have to clean when you're on vacation. And I was like, that's not totally, like, you have to clean up your condoms. I think everyone can agree that's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And then that's how the quarterback, who's the love interest, who's played by Matt, sees her from the side of his eye, and he's like, that's a hottie I want to get to know, and then stalks her?
Definitely stalking. Bridge, do you know who that actor is?
Who?
Bridge? What? I literally wrote in my notes at one point, I go, is this the fucking guy from Legally Blonde? And then I quick looked it up. He's fucking Warren from Legally Blonde. And we should have known he was going to ruin lives with his presence. So,
fucking Warren.
There.
What a stick up his ass Warren. Oh my god.
And I'm so sorry to this actor. I hope he's a nice person. I don't know him personally. But like, goddamn, what a weird pick for a love interest. It was weird.
I remember when you were like, oh, Blue Crush. I was like, oh yeah, there's some random dude in it.
You did. You were like, some no name. And I was like, probably. I mean, kind of is. I don't know.
I mean, it kind of is. But also, he also has a weird role. Because I'm like, what is his motivation? What is his interest? Like, I don't get it. So,
yeah.
Basically then, as you said, they get fired. Because, well they don't get fired.
She gets fired.
Anne-Marie
surfs up Anne-Marie.
And the other two are like, I quit. And then she's like, no, you can't quit because we need rent, so you stay working.
Right.
I'll figure out my shit. But she's like, tee-hee-hee, 5 days to Pipe Masters, and I'm not working. Sounds great. You think, I'm going to just kick butt at this competition.
Well, you don't think that.
You don't think that. Because what happens, Katie? What fucking happens?
Well, there's another let's go surfing time. And then the quarterback stalks her, Bridge. He really does. He finds her on a beach, like a predator. Okay? And it was like, hey, you're a surfer. And she's like, get the fuck out of my face, which was an appropriate reaction. And then he basically is like, oh, I was wondering if you give me surf lessons. And he says this at another point in time. He goes, the hotel offers lessons. So let's just all keep that in mind. That this man could have gotten any lessons anywhere, anytime. But no, he chose to follow this woman around the island. Mm-hmm. Like a predator. And she says no. But then she meets up with the friends and she kind of tells them. And they're like, he's that quarterback. And, he'll pay you like money. Maybe he'll pay you money. Let's go speed our car and catch up to him. And then, see what he'll pay us. And these fucking ding-dongs. They lowball hard. Because he's like, how much would you want? And she goes, $20 an hour. Bitch. That's not how you do a private lesson. Okay? He's a goddamn quarterback. You're in Hawaii. Look at the interest rate. Okay? Figure it out. And then he goes, this is where he says, the hotel surf lessons are $150 an hour. He's like, I'll pay you that. And she's like, deal. But then her and all her friends end up teaching too. And I was confused about it. It becomes a group lesson.
Well, and then after the group lesson, he's like, do you want to come upstairs and I'll give you the money? And
no, that's not right away. They do the lesson.
I know they do the lesson. And it's funny and silly and whatever. But after he gives her all this money and she's like, whoa, that's a lot more. And he's like, it's for the whole week. And she's like, let's do this. I'm like, why?
Wait, you thought he wanted sex? Because I thought he wanted surfing lessons. You think he paid for sex, or you think...
No, he paid for surfing lessons. I'm doing air quotes. But he definitely wanted to have sex with her.
What you think? Because when... I thought it was surfing, but then he also was like, I will get my D wet if
I think he paid for time with her to eventually get his D wet.
I hate it. I hate it because it worked. And it's bad. I'm sorry. So fucking bad.
It's so bad because
I literally have a note. Is this guy Warner from Legally Blonde? Because if not, they're twins. And then 4 sentences later, oh my fucking god, it's Warner. They do a group surf lesson, and again, this is another montage. No communication, no story building, nothing at all. It's just silly too-hoo. I wish Kunu from Forgetting Sarah Marshall was there. Not gonna lie.
Oh my god.
He fucking wasn't. And it's fine. I'll get over
played
it.
By
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd
is Kunu. Yeah, and this is, and then her and Anne Marie in the football play. What the fuck is his name? Does he have a name?
Leslie.
No, not Leslie Bridge. The quarterback.
Matt.
What a white guy name. Anne Marie and Matt, they end up like by themselves surfing much longer, and then they kind of talk, but it's bullshit and dumb. And then she goes up to his room and she's like, I'm not gonna do anything with him. And there's a dumbass scene where he answers a phone call and he's like, absolutely, honey, I miss you, I love you. And then she's like, well, I'm gonna go because your wife called. And he's like, no, it's my niece. Look at this photo. I'm going to pull out of my butthole. And she's like, oh, I believe you. And I was like, I don't believe anyone. I don't believe this script. I don't believe in you. I don't believe in me. I don't believe in it. I'm sad about
I believe in you. So she gets up to the room and she's like, maybe I'll have some hanky-pank too, because this is a nice room.
Does she? Or does she? I thought she left.
Oh, she just kisses him and leaves.
The kiss came on fast. I was like, are we at the kissing point? We're at kissing point? We're at the kiss goodbye point already in our surfing relationship? Okay.
Let me tell you this.
Okay.
I'm all for a hot vacation fling. Okay? I'm all for that. I love it. But I think there's a different power dynamic. When
that's what I don't like.
Rooms,
I don't like the power dynamic.
Cleaning people's rooms, and then they're like, haha, you told my friends off, and haha, I'm going to pay you for this and pay you for that. And it would also be nice if we had sex.
I hate it.
She leaves, and then all her besties and sister make fun of her. And she's like, come on, guys. And then we get the new fucking Michelle Rodriguez shit that's like, you gotta stay focused, Anne Marie.
She's like, watching videos of like preteen Anne Marie surfing. She's like, that's you, Anne Marie.
So creepy.
That used to be you. And I was like, why do you have those? Why are those on tape?
Her line was, man, that girl could really rip. And Anne Marie's like, who's that? She's like, it was you. Katie, if I was at your house watching videos of younger you as I try to motivate you for something, tell me you would not giggle your ass off and just roll on the ground laughing and holding your stomach, because like she took it serious. She's like, yeah, you're right.
Michelle Rodriguez did not have a personality in this movie. It made me really upset because I was like, girl, you have like range, and why are you just a frowny mopey face?
I thought the same thing. I was like, this is a good actor that's not getting the chance to act.
Yeah, it's
weird. And she says a line of, man, I was so pissed at you back then because I knew I could never be as good as you, and I knew I could never beat you. So what? So now you have to lick her butthole your whole life?
She has to live vicariously through Anne Marie Bridge, but only when Anne Marie's surfing, not when she's boning a man. And yeah, there were questions. Somebody also calls Anne Marie Little Hooch, and I was like, I approve that insult. So let's keep more of those coming. But
yeah, I don't even know.
Oh, and be a pro ho. That's another great insult that she gets. And I was like, there's a scene where Anne Marie's hanging out with Matt. She brings him to a local spot. This is allegedly a thing in Hawaii. There are secret local spots that only locals are allowed to go to. We all joke locals only, but they don't joke, apparently in Hawaii. And then her ex-boyfriend beats up the quarterback? Why are there island bullies, Bridge? How many anti-bullying assemblies do we have to have?
I will, okay. Not that I know anyone from Hawaii or their culture or anything, but what I have read through other people is that Hawaiians basically hate tourists because they like ruin their island, aka White Lotus.
Fair. Yeah.
Highlights it. And so I get the idea of like, I'm not starting shit, I'm just like protecting my turf that you're coming in and ruining. So I get the beef. Yeah. Okay. I will say, I didn't think it was realistic because if someone is a pro football player, I would assume that they could kick the living shit out of any surfer.
Well, he was a little bitch. He's a little bitch baby.
Warren's a little Harvard Law School bitch.
He's a fucking bitch. And he gets beat up.
You gotta give it to him, though. He had a great hotel room. That hot tub, I mean, right?
He goes, the very next scene is him in the hot tub, like, wham, my face got punched. And she's like, gosh, let me, like, console you and bone in the hot tub. And I was like, again, this is someone's fan fiction. We don't hate fan fiction, but I didn't ask for it in my cinematic movie.
Okay. Let's rate this as women. What would be cooler to me in the beginning of the movie if Anne Marie's like being pushed to surf, but then in the background she's like, I wish I had someone who loved me.
If she actually cared that she was single.
And then you had this like dichotomy of like, well, everyone just thinks I'm a surfer and I got this big competition, but like really I would love to have someone. And and like we never ever get that. So I have no idea why she literally gives a shit about this guy. And it just becomes so weird and awkies. And then, I don't know where we're at in the movie, but I know she gets into like a fancy dress and goes to some fancy thing. And Katie, if I got fired from my job and then started boning someone at my job to then put on a fancy dress and eat dinner at my job where the place I got fired and also started boning someone, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
I thought you were going to be like, I'll be there. Because, like, that's a power
move.
Awkward. Don't do it. Okay.
Well, maybe we're different people, but
I don't know
if I get fired from a place, I'm never, ever, ever going back.
I just know that there was more bullying. It turns into Mean Girls in the bathroom. Some point in here, she, is kind of like, I don't belong in this world. And then her coping skill, if you will, is to walk away from the party, to walk into a pond.
No, the ocean.
Oh, was it the ocean? I thought it was a pond.
That was the ocean.
Okay, she's in the ocean. Sharks are more active at night, so just be careful. Nobody's worried about sharks, but y'all should be. And she's just like, wah, and he runs in, and he's like, what's the matter? And this is where she does the dumbest fucking monologue answer I've ever fucking heard, because she starts off being like, I don't know what I'm doing, because, when I called for breakfast, they said, like, Mrs. your last name, and I didn't correct them because I wanted to believe it. And he was like, okay. And she's like, yeah, and everything's wrong. And then he goes, well, what do you want? And then she lists off all the normal response things that have nothing to do with him. And I was like, yes, we're getting closer. You're so close. Keep going. Don't lose your focus. And then she's like, what do I do, man? Tell me what to do, mister. And I was like, we're losing focus. You're losing the focus. You were close. And then I hate how he's the one who gives her this answer, because it's the focus was lost, but he goes, be the girl who doesn't ask the guy what to do. And then that's when she is like, okay. And I was like, okay. But then they make out. And I was like, wait.
I gotta tell you, this
lost.
Is what fucked us all up. Okay? Us older millennials felt like this was a movie starring women, and we were like, this is awesome, but it was really just white women. And then we were like, yeah, they don't need no man, they're doing their surf competition, and they get lines like, you don't need a man to tell you what to do, but the whole movie was literally about her hanging out with a dude and being obsessed with a dude.
And then she only changes things because he says you should go change things. And I was like, God fucking damn it!
It's exhausting.
I thought that we were not going to see him again, but you know what? I was wrong about so many things in this movie.
We also, there was a great part of the bathroom bullying is they say, do you remember, this is Matt's thing. Matt likes to like hang with trash, white trash. Remember the Denny's waitress? Remember the blah, blah, blah. And so she called, do you remember this? And
How
she calls him out.
How many STDs does this man have? We should be worried about our reproductive health.
Absolutely.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
If anyone has boned a professional football player, have you got tested?
Please do.
I don't know.
Careful.
I don't know.
Use protection.
I'm assuming they have a lot of sex with a lot of people.
I would too.
So she kind of calls him out for that, and he's like, he literally does like the smoothest.
Does he deflect? Because I blacked out.
He does. He's like, but I'm with you now. I'm like,
oh that's not an answer, sir.
God. And then when she is like, what do you mean? I'm just some girl you boned on vacation, whatever. And again,
she goes,
like,
you got laid with the maid. And I was like, that's a great insult, but you said it to yourself, so I'm confused. But I'll remember it. So,
but then he's like, I'm here. I like you. And I'm like, I think she's right. He's just going to go to the next city to play football and not probably call her, right?
Well, and the best part of the fucking ending, besides that it ended, was we don't fucking know what happens with them at all, because nobody has conversations. And thank God this is the part of the movie, though, where they're like, anyway, let's get to the survey.
Let's get back. So basically, if you're watching this movie, what I want you to do is, when you see the ocean and waves, play. When they're not in the ocean, it's kind of like with Free Willy. When you see the whale play, when you don't see the whale, forward. When you see Warren from Legally Blonde show up, forward.
Fast forward.
But you were right that the surfing scenes were pretty cool and fun.
They were pretty cool. I mean, the editor had time lapses in a dream. You know, he had a vision. It was put on screen. It was a great day. But we're at the surfing competition. I have so many questions because I watched Olympic surfing, and that makes me an expert. Clearly,
we're aware. Yes.
Wherever they're doing this competition, it looks just like a normal beach, and the waves look big, and the announcer goes on a whole monologue about how people die. Yeah. More people have died in this very spot than any other surfing competition. Yeah. And that's how he starts it off. This is how the competition starts off. And then he's like, anyway, let's do it! And I was like, I'm sorry, are there lawsuits? Should we move the location? What do you mean we're allowing deaths, people? And nobody answers that. And
from our listeners from Hawaii, can you help us out with this one? Is this normal? Do people just die at these competitions?
I really want to know the answer to that, because part of me is it just feels legally something's not right. I don't like it. And that's the whole point is supposed to be because she almost died. She was drowned, which anytime they talk about her in regards to the competition, they always say, yeah, she was she's put in a competition and she was really great when she was younger, but she almost died. And they just keep repeating it. And I was like, we get it. Okay. She almost fucking died. I get it.
Let's take a little pause though. You and me, we're growing up in New Jersey. We're popping in and out of the ocean. You've been hit by a gnarly wave, haven't you?
Yeah,
where you're under the water and you're thinking to yourself, oh, that's a rough one. Have you any memories of that?
Yeah.
I could imagine that, with those massive waves, they just get so stuck under the water that, I get the drowning. I didn't get the coral subplot that we're going to smash on coral. I didn't understand that. I'm like, why don't you just not surf near coral?
I mean, the coral might have been the real enemy. This is what I'm saying. I'm like, we could just pick another spot, you guys. Why the coral spot?
But there was a lot of, if you get anxiety from drowning, this is not your movie. Because there was
it was
many
bad.
shots of her basically almost drowning by getting smashed by waves. I mean, literally... This is why it could have been Rudy for surfing.
It could have.
And it wasn't because of fucking Warren.
Well, and they do that one scene earlier in the movie where she's running under the water with a rock and her two friends are holding on to her for resistance.
Which was so cool. That was such a cool shot.
But, part of me, I was like, oh, I used to think that was, to build her strength. But that was, for her breath. She was doing, breath work. And then I was like, why would she need breath work for surfing? Oh, it's because people die in the surfing spot. And we're all going to get submerged for minutes and minutes at a time. And will you be the next death? Probably. Here we go. And I was like, okay, I get it. Damn.
And so she does her rounds. The first round, she gets a pretty decent wave, but then, gets crushed.
She gets tied, the thing gets tied around the reef. She's it's like a James Bond movie now.
So then, they take her back in. And by the way, you're right. Everybody's leaving in body bags at this place, okay? They're coming out. They're getting on the stretcher.
The guy on the announcer keeps being like, where's the doctor? I was like, he's probably fucking treating someone else who's a dead person. Maybe this should be sponsored by the medical community. You idiots. Okay.
So then, she gets the guts after a talk by Warren Do you remember?
All I've
tells
said,
a stupid football story, and I'm like, why is this around? Whatever the dude says,
it's the pep talk we didn't ask for.
We met him 5 days ago. I fucking hate this.
This is also while she is laying on a stretcher, and some fucking man who probably doesn't have a medical license is doing chiropractic on her and cracking her neck. And I was like, is she going to be paralyzed? How's she going to win the surfing competition? I hate everyone. And it's fucking bad. She does get another pep talk, though, and it's a better pep talk, and the only pep talk we should have got, and it was from the woman that she was surfing against in the second
Kate
heat.
Garrett.
Is this a real pro surfer? Oh, thank God.
Who was
she
so cool
legit
to watch. Was so cool to watch and literally just like ripped shit. Like wave after wave after wave.
Well, that lady,
I
was like, that is not a stunt double. That is you, ma'am. And respect. And she was like, girl, you just gotta get in there. She's like, what are you gonna do? Sit around here like a buoy? And I was like, again, the insults are on point. This should have been a movie about insults. I would have liked it better. And insults she's like, drowning. Come on, she goes, I'll coach you. And I was like, oh, this is the training we needed. Shouldn't have been having sex time not to. Could have been training. Okay. Could have hooked up with this lady. Could have done that. All right. Honestly. You would have got the training. And we didn't do it.
Michelle Rodriguez would have flipped the table. But it was great.
She would have ran over the lady with the jet ski. For sure.
We forgot about the whole jet ski.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the jet ski scene. What was the point? I don't even know what the point of that was.
Well, so the jet ski scene was like, instead of them having to like paddle out to these really big waves, you use the jet ski to like get them out so they don't waste their like,
Michelle Rodriguez used her own money to rent a jet ski for her friend. And
they can't pay rent. I mean, we know why. They're not
so many questions. They need an accountant.
So then Kate Garrett comes in as the real hero and is like, I'm going to line up the wave. Honestly, Anne-Marie, it's just surfing stage fright.
She really
pushes
is.
Anne-Marie, and Anne-Marie gets what the entire beach was waiting for. The perfect wave.
The perfect wave!
It had a barrel. She went straight down.
The edits are out of control. The slow-mo.
The slow-mo being like, I'm like, how did they film that in the thing? It looks pretty good. It was a pretty good surfing shot.
Unless it was like some CGI. I don't know. Is Kate Bosworth really that good of a
there's
surfer?
a Coco Ho.
Oh, God. Coco.
That is the surfer that was Kate Bosworth's stunt double for surfing.
That was a lady? Coco's a lady?
Coco Ho.
I heard the last thing. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. And
I was like, those are actually big waves. Like, what's happening?
Well, and then when honestly, it's kind of funny with that latest Olympic surfing thing where the guy comes out and he gives like the 10. Who's the surfer that won gold? Whoever that dude was. Instead, Kate Bosworth like takes her one hand and shoots it up. And then that's the Billabong cover.
Okay, that was absolutely a green screen. And I was like, you are standing chilly in some soundstage in a bikini.
Yep. Absolutely.
I don't know why we surf so much in bikinis, because I think real surfers wear rash guards, and your boobs are probably fine out all the time, but maybe that's what you want. I don't know your life story. Okay. But Bridget, she loses that heat.
She gets crushed.
She fucking loses, and then you would think it's like, well, the lesson is we gotta train more. No, Bridge, there is no lesson. You know why? You know why, Bridge? Because right when she steps off the beach, little children run up to her and say, give me your autograph. They ignore the winner, by the way. The woman who actually served and didn't die. They ignore her. Some Billabong bitch comes up, and it's like, that's it. You're getting a sponsor. You surfed one wave for one time, and it was because that lady coached you, but you're getting a sponsor. Get in here, girl. And then she made the fucking surfing magazine cover? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Anne-Marie Chadwick.
She makes out with Warner, and then the movie ends. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, and I thought, okay, so the lesson in 2002 is if you work hard, except for the last 7 days before your competition, you could have sex with an NFL pro player and then get lucky with one wave to be sponsored and sent all over the world. And this is like the age of like right before Mark Zuckerberg's, where you just like, I don't know, you just like get one hit and then you could go be famous.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right. And then So again, I think the surfing scenes were awesome.
They were.
Listen, if you love hot surfer girls with like super tight, muscular, little skinny bodies, this is your movie. They're everywhere in bikinis.
Sure, yeah.
If you care about plot, if you care about storyline, if you care about 12-year-olds not being treated well,
if you care about victims of bullying, if you care about
appropriation,
social services, like,
absolutely not.
Oh God,
absolutely not.
Tipping the hotel staff. Yeah,
I'm gonna apologize for recommending this movie. Kate, watch it or don't watch it.
I just don't know if it's gonna be a watch ever, unless maybe I take a mushroom.
I think I'm done watching this.
Okay, it's all right to retire. Your little surfboard.
Think I don't have a crush on this one.
No, good one.
Thanks. So, Kate, will you please save me with a better pick?
Okay. All right.
Also, should we shout out any listener picks, or do we need to shout out listeners?
For Blue Crush? Nobody recommended that, Bridget.
I just meant any listener. I don't know.
Oh.
For example, I'm pulling this up right now.
Okay, I'm pulling up my movies. Because I have
this isn't a movie.
Choices.
This is just a comment. And we're going to shout out Chris.
Woo, Chris!
Chris C.
Hey, Chris.
He says, hey, from the UK, love the Free Willy episode. Well, we love you, Chris.
We love you. The whales love you, Chris. Did you donate? Tell me.
My memory of this was going to the cinema with my mum, spelled M-U-M-U-K,
Chris,
you
poor
little
thing.
bugger.
Did you have tissues?
When I was 4 and 5 and crying my eyes out to the point that my mom had to take me out of the cinema. Think it might have been Free Willy 2, actually, but it moved me then. And this recap moved me now. Much love. Oh my God, Chris.
Wow.
Love you.
Wow.
Next time, put a movie submission into that.
Chris.
Okay?
Fuck yeah. Thank you so much.
I don't know. We haven't, I felt like listeners, we've been ignoring you, so I'm so sorry. We've just been in like summer haze,
I'm still in the summer haze.
Okay.
All right. I'm annoying. And I have...
Oh, God.
We could get crazy. I could give you 4 choices.
Holy shnikes.
Or I could narrow it down to 3.
2. Give me 2 choices.
God damn it. Okay, you're gonna need to tell me genre.
What do you got? I don't know. I don't know.
One is comedy, family, fantasy.
Oh.
One is adventure, family, animation. A third is biography, drama, family. And the fourth, even though you told me not to do the fourth, is drama, music, romance. Did you get all that?
Okay, I blacked out.
Drama, music, romance. Biography, drama, family. Adventure, family, animation. Comedy, family, fantasy.
Comedy, family, fantasy, or biography one?
Okay. We have 2 picks. These are both from the 2000s. Okay. I don't know if that narrows it down for you, because you have to pick now.
Oh, God.
All right, one is from 2006, and then the other is from 2011.
Ooh.
The biography is 2011. The fantasy is 2006.
We haven't really done a 2011 one.
No.
I mean, that's like on the cusp of nostalgia, wouldn't you say? Do we consider it nostalgia?
Yeah, I think nostalgia like 10 years, so yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like 10 years ago.
All right,
nostalgic.
Do the 2011 one.
Well, Bridge, we are back to surfing!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But this is not Blue Crush. Not Blue Crush. I would argue this movie needs a little bit of a trigger warning, because there's a lot happening. I'm going to read you I can't. All right, I'm going to read most of the one sentence, and I'm so curious if you know this and or have seen this. I also made a reference to this already in this episode, LOL. Blank blank, a professional surfer. Oh, I don't know if that part's true, but we'll go with it. Loses her left arm in a shark attack. Unwilling to pay attention to the gravity of her situation, Blank decides to get back in the ocean and surf
Christ,
again.
Katie. Are we doing Soul Surfer?
Yeah!
How many more fucking surf movies should we be doing?
Many.
Oh my God.
There's so fucking many.
Are we gonna lose our audience?
Have you seen Soul Surfer? Do you know Soul Surfer?
I haven't. And
You've never seen Soul Surfer?
I'm afraid. Am I gonna be afraid of sharks after this?
No. I don't think so. Well, maybe, but probably not.
This really happened to this person.
Yeah. This is Bethany Hamilton, who I did make a reference to
Oh my God, I was thinking you were talking about the Real Housewives Bethany. And I was
Not that Bethany, no.
Bethany Frankel. I was like, what are you talking about her?
Bethany Hamilton, who had her left arm bitten off by a fucking shark. But she lived, and then she continued to surf, and she still fucking surfs till this day, which is absolutely amazing. And I follow her on Instagram, and I gotta get, besides the shark attack, which is very traumatic and upsetting, I do have to give a little trigger warning that this movie is a little religious, which I think is because her family is a little religious, so you're gonna pick up the undertones. Right. Mainly, how we have the worst acting I've ever seen in my life done by Carrie Underwood as a pastor lady or something. I don't really know.
He's a lady?
There are questions to be had. We have Anna Sophia Robb is Bethany Hamilton. She does a great job. Dennis Quaid, who is definitely fallen so far down on my likability scale for so many reasons.
Helen Hunt?
Helen fucking Hunt, thank God you're here. We missed you from Twister. And Kevin Sorbo, who I'm only going to reference because he was Hercules, but he also is extremely low on the good person totem pole.
Carrie Underwood?
Carrie Underwood is the preacher, pastor, whatever.
Okay, I was thinking you said Carrie Ellis.
No, who is that?
Wait, who's the guy from Saw with the terrible makeup?
Oh, Carrie Elways?
Elways.
Wow. I fucking wish Carrie Ellis was in this fucking movie. It would be so amazing.
Oh, you're like, he plays a pastor kind of lady. And I was like, well, why is he a lady?
All that makeup he likes to wear.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, wow, he's really pushing his acting.
No. Oh my god, I love you, Carrie Elways.
This is so stupid. Anderson Cooper's in this?
What the fuck? Oh, he's probably
Craig T. Nelson?
Who's that? I don't know.
If you saw his face, you know who he is.
There's a lot happening in this movie.
There's an old Baywatch actor. David Chokachi.
Oh my god. Sure.
Oh my.
What cast list are you looking at the right movie?
I hope so.
It's like, who are you looking at?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
I gotta say, okay, here's what I'm gonna say about this. I'm gonna give a shout out to my best friend Shannon.
Hey Shannon.
When we were like probably early teens, because I don't know exactly when, like what year that this actually happened to the real Bethany Hamilton, that her arm got bitten off and all that stuff. But after that happened, she, for that and, you know, because she is a talented surfer, became kind of famous. And then started, like, kind of making money off her name and her brand. And so she sold a perfume line. Oh. And love you, Shannon, but I'm about to tell the story. And Shannon had a lot of anger feelings about how it was bullshit that this lady gets to sell perfume just because she had her arm bitten off. And then this goddamn movie came out. And you want to know who was the very first person that said, I have to fucking watch this? It was Shannon. Because Shannon watched this movie and she said she cried her eyes out. And she was like, I take back everything I ever said about Bethany. She deserves everything that comes to her. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And
then Shannon smelled very, very strong the
Shannon
next couple
has all the perfume. Yes, it is true. It's a crazy story. I think this movie is done well given the, you know, material and just, you know, we're doing it. We're surfing. More surfing.
If you thought we were done surfing, listeners, we're not. So if you gotta take a pause. Okay, the summer is almost over, but for us, it continues. Let's do it. Next
episode's gonna start. I'm gonna play a clip from the Beach
Boys. After this, we're gonna have to do
USA.
We're gonna have to do like a Halloween movie. After this one.
We need some murder in here. Yeah. Okay. I'm ready. Okay. Well, Bridge,
I'm first.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got the first wave.
Oh, okay. I'll hang back like Anne-Marie. I'll be a buoy. Don't mind me.
If you're preparing for the Pipe Masters, which is your actual dream, and there comes some guy, okay? And he, starts to stalk you,
oh God,
I will immediately sick your ex-boyfriend Drew on him to just finish the job so you can focus on the competition.
We could murder him and get some money. We can mug him, and come out on top, I think. Wow. And Bridge, if you wanted to also be a surfer and enter the surfing competition, and you were like, I need help training, I would be Michelle Rodriguez. I wouldn't have as much of a pouty face or watch VHS videos of you, and I would rent the jet ski if you want me to.
I think you'd be a great coach.
I would love to rent the jet ski. I'd love to jet ski around. That would be so fun. Spend our rent money on the jet ski. It all makes sense.
Who the fuck doesn't want to do that when you're 19?
What a day. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. And listeners, if you also, I don't know,
want to rent jet skis and not pay your rent?
Ride the jet skis. If you also would ride jet skis. And if you think that supporting your friends and their surfing dreams are important, but it's also okay to call your friends silly insults when they have sex with a professional football player, like a pro ho. I mean, that's a great one. Pro ho. Are you kidding?
Oh my God.
And if you think that this movie should have just killed Warner, like he should have just died. He could have died. He could have been bit by a shark. Oh, that might have been better. And then she's like, I gotta survive the competition now.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Is anyone making Blue Crush 2? Probably shouldn't. Don't do it. But if you think all that, you should write us a review.
Like Chris.
We love reviews.
Come on, Chris. Come back at us.
We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So there is a form you can fill out. Your request goes on the list, and we look at the list every now and then, and we'll do it eventually. I know Bridget says no more surfing movies, but I know there's more out there. I know there are, so I'm just saying. Put it on the list, and we'll do it eventually. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
Give us money,
Woo!
Not for surf lessons.
No.
It just comes to us.
Yeah.
And merchandise that is also not surf lessons, and you get to walk away with something to wear or giggle at, or whatever. Check it out.
Make a tank top that just says pro ho, and it's like
surfs up, Anne-Marie.
Surfs up, pro ho. Oh my God, wow. Yes, so check all that out, listeners, and we hope to hear from you. All right, well, we'll see y'all next week for Soul Surfer and Helen Hunt. I'm ready for Helen.
She's great. I love a good Helen Hunt.
She's great in this movie. She's really good in this movie.
Oh,
she's really good in this movie.
I love a Helen Hunt.
Does a lot of back carrying. Right. Okay. Oh, I love you.
Surfs up. Love you.
Surfs up, Bridge.
Okay. Stay focused on the Pipe Master competition.
All right. I'll run with a brick. Goodbye.
I love you. Surfs up. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.